Paul Perillo, Chief Executive over there at the New England Patriots.
CEO.
Chief Executive.
Joining us for his weekly stint. Answer for your club there, Paul.
Someone forgot to tell my accountant about
Nice team you got there, Pip.
Yeah, it's not been good. And I think the last several times that we've spoken, I talked to you, I kind of felt like something changed coming out of the bye week in that Arizona trip and just how poorly they played. I think that there was some hope that there would be signs of life down the stretch. We're going to improve. We're going to get better. We're going to be a pain to play against some of the playoff teams that they're going to see. And it didn't work out that way. And the way I kind of looked at it, I said to Mike off air, Tony, is, all year I kind of had been, getting the vibe from people. Well, I think Jerod will be back. I think they understand that this is, a long process to, sort of post Arizona. Well, I think Jerod will be back. This is kind of a long, I think it became more of a question over the month of December. And I just think there were too many things off the field that just didn't go the way they wanted to. And I don't mean arrests or things like that. Just like the lack of control, I think, in the locker room, players speaking out of turn, the coach having some missteps. I think in retrospect, you can certainly see why we got here.
Do you think in retrospect that the last month cost him the job, or they were already teetering and the last month could only save his job? Because that's what I've come around to. That, and believe me, the signs were there. I mean, not just the fact that we found out they were calling around starting in week 6 or week 7 is like leads you to, doesn't lead you to believe, tells you that they had questions going back even to the second month. So I think it was more like they saw early on, and it would have taken a strong month to save his job. It didn't cost him his job.
I mean, I think you're probably right. I think it's a little bit of semantics, but I understand what your point is. I would say that the calls maybe earlier in the year, and I don't know exactly, the nature of everything, but my understanding from the outside was I think they were calling to try to find out how to get more support for Jerod and for their young quarterback. And that kind of, mushroomed into, we need to see something because, things weren't going well. I think they had lost 3 in a row heading into the bye. But I think they still held out some hope that things would, start to turn a little bit. And like I said, I mean, if you went back over the entirety of the season, what would you say that they did well?
Nothing.
And I don't really know if you can come up with anything.
No, there isn't anything.
So I think that they looked at that and said that they're not getting better. There are no signs of development with the players. I think there was, some back and forth between the coaching staff and the front office and the front office and the coaching staff. I don't think it was set up. I don't think it was functional. I think they needed to make a change. Now, is this enough of a change? Just the head coach? We'll see what happens with Elliott Wolf and the rest of the personnel department. I thought it was interesting that Robert Kraft said that the next coach will have a lot of input there. He did say that Elliott Wolf and Alonzo Highsmith would be back, but not necessarily in what capacity. So I think that's what we need to keep an eye on.
Or for how long.
Right.
How do you feel about 90 minutes after the game? Like, what do you think was behind that?
So, I don't know exactly what was behind it. I was not really taken aback by that, but I know a lot of other people were. To me, does it really matter? Like, okay, we're gonna let you know Sunday night, so then you don't have to show up.
You have to admit,
morning and do a press conference.
It is kind of unusual.
So, it
usually happens on Monday.
It's unusual. What was the one that you guys were talking about?
Jack Del Rio got fired.
Jack Del Rio got mid-sentence
before he went to the podium.
Yeah.
Before his post-game press conference in the last game, he was fired. He still went to the post-game press conference and told the reporters, "I just got fired."
Right. So
he announced it.
Yeah, but you know what? If we're talking about Jack Del Rio, that's a little late for my liking.
So it was.
I'd have fired him in 5 minutes.
I waited too long.
We all saw on Sunday when Adam Schefter had that report before the game.
Oh, yeah.
About leaning toward out. We all felt like he was out. That said, I have to admit, I'm doing the post-game show, and it's like 5 o'clock or whatever it was, and he's out now. Like, that was a little surprising to me. I do wonder if maybe there was some frustration. I mean, I don't know. I mean, was there frustration over the win? And how every like
that's what I was going to ask you.
It just felt like everything that could go wrong in that last game went wrong, except for the fact that Joe Milton played well.
Okay, but do you think part of it was they didn't he didn't follow orders in terms of losing the game, and they were bitter about that?
No, I don't think there were orders. And here's what, I think there's a lot of reason to criticize Jerod Mayo, for not being ready and how he handled the whole season. I don't know what Jerod Mayo could have done, what else he could have done to lose that game.
McDermott outsucked them. He did.
They both played their third-string quarterbacks.
No, I'm not blaming
Your
Mayo. I'm with
third-string
you on
quarterback
this.
played better than theirs. Their third. You realize Mike White went 3 for 11 in that game?
He was brutal.
Do you know how hard it is to go 3 for 11?
No,
in an
he
NFL
looked like
game?
me out there.
Especially against that sucker.
As soon as he went in the game, I said, they're undermining the Patriots.
I've been saying this all week, and I don't know. Maybe Sean McDermott absolutely wanted to stick it to the Patriots, and that's. I mean, I think it was more about let's just get out of here and stay. They wanted to get the punter, that stupid incentive. They wanted to get Josh Allen, Von Miller, his incentive. But other than that, they just wanted to get out of there. They wanted no business. They wanted no part of playing the game. On Saturday, guys, the Patriots put a release out, elevating a half dozen guys from the practice squad.
I saw that.
You guys know me. I've been covering the team for 25 years, right? I feel like I'm a pretty detail-oriented guy. I know names. If you put a gun to my head on Sunday afternoon and said Buffalo and New England elevated 6 guys each from the practice squad, I'm not sure I could have told you which was which. There were guys making plays in the fourth quarter of the Patriots game for the Patriots that I did not know were Patriots.
Who is that Leo guy?
Oh, I didn't pay attention to
The cornerback was he played like Darrell Revis. He was locking up Keon Coleman, number 35.
Who was that?
Miles Battle.
Right, yes, that guy I remember.
I honest to God,
Should have been one of my 3 up.
I do not mean any disrespect by this. He knocked away 2 deep balls from Keon Coleman, and Keon Coleman is a 50-50. He's not going to create a lot of separation, but he's a good downfield 50-50 guy who's made plays for Josh Allen all year. And what did I say? Miles Battle. I keep forgetting the guy's name.
Battle.
Miles Battle locked him up. I don't know what Jerod Mayo can do other than just say, well, we're going to take a knee 3 times and punt. You got to play the game. You got to let the guys that are playing try. Joe Milton played really well. What are you going to do? They won the game. Now, do I think that they probably wanted to lose? Yeah, I do. But you can't openly try to lose.
I agree.
You can't.
I'm telling you, seriously, that Mike White, as soon as Mike White went in that game and I saw that performance, I started to agree with Woody Johnson's kid. He sucks. Boy, does Mike White suck.
Well, that was a good one to me because the amount of static the Jets took a couple of years ago for letting that stiff go, come on.
Your thoughts on Mike Vrabel?
You guys know I love Vrabel. I do. I think he's a good coach. I love the person. Mike, you and I think in particular had really interesting relationships with him. He really busted your balls.
Oh, God.
I wasn't far behind. He liked to make fun of our TV clothes all the time and talk about the fall colors. And do you remember these days?
Kind of.
So I really like Mike. I like him a lot. I think he's a really good coach. I think he'll bring a stability and a culture immediately. I think it's a good move. I would like to see them sort of broaden the horizons a little bit and look for other people. And if it's Vrabel that is your choice, I have no problem with Mike Vrabel. I know he'll immediately give you credibility right away. They'll, I think that sort of the floor is he'll get you to Pittsburgh level. You'll be a playoff caliber team in shorter, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how long it'll take, but he'll get you there. I don't know if he can get you over the top. I would like to see if one of these guys that I don't know as much about can maybe be more than that, but it looks like they're sort of fixated on Vrabel. And I'm okay with that because I think he's a really good coach.
So the questions remain, what does he do on offense? What does he do at personnel? What do they do at personnel?
Yeah, this is interesting because my guess is that was where Robert gave himself an out there. He did say the next coach will have input on this. So, Mike has, I think, probably some guys in mind. Here's where you have a much better situation than when you just tried to go through with Jerod Mayo. Mike's been in the league a little bit. He probably has an idea of what he wants for a coaching staff. I don't know exactly what they all are. Now, you've heard people say he's tied to Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator. I've also heard people say Tommy Rees, who's, I think, in Cleveland with him this year as tight ends coach, but he's been an offensive coordinator, was down. I actually did a show in Alabama yesterday, and they really liked Tommy Rees from his time in Alabama, which kind of surprised me because I thought he was sort of, run out of there, but they felt like he did a really good job with Jalen Milroe, and Milroe took a step back. there. So if that was the combination, that would make sense. Personnel-wise, I know there's a kid that Albert Breer talks about all the time with the Giants, Ryan Cowden, who spent some time with Mike. He's an assistant for Joe Shane with the Giants. Might make sense to make him the GM. I don't know if Mike has much of a relationship at all with Elliott Wolf, if he'd want to keep that. My guess is Mike would want his own people.
And he should want his own people.
He should.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.